So yeah, man, this is me and my brother Kurt Anderson, aka Kurt Sugar, aka the Historian. This is episode 1. Man, we're gonna make it happen. We're gonna make it do what it do, man. Come on in, my peopleizations. We got the number right there for y'all to call in. The topic y'all can see. We're gonna talk about Sean Porter, Errol Spence today. Jafari Caesar, Joseph Brown, New Jersey, Lou Hayton. Salute to my peopleizations, man. Anything you want to say, Kurt, to start it off?
Yes. What's going on, chat? It's Kurt Sugar. This our inaugural show. Me and Blue, come together to give you a quality boxing show. You can call in. You got the number right there, 646-986-3989. Anything you want to talk about, breakdowns or what you're thinking about the fight on the topic. We can agree to disagree or disagree to agree, however you want to put it. We remain respectful. And we just here to talk some boxing.
Absolutely, man. I mean, we got a lot of things going on in the sport of boxing. We got, obviously, the big fight, the welterweight division. We got Showtime Sean Porter, 2-time welterweight world champion, current WBC world champion. And we got undefeated IBF welterweight superstar Errol the True Spence Jr. coming up September 28th in just a few short weeks. We going to have it going, man. And my peopleization, we got Kurt Anderson, a.k.a. Kurt Sugar, a.k.a. The Historian, will be the co-host. We will be going every day on this channel, 6 p.m. This is our show every day, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Central Time, 3 p.m. West Coast, East Pacific Time, and it's 11 p.m. if you're in the UK. But salute to my peoples, man. We here, man. So let me ask you this, Kurt. This fight, I saw an interview that Terrence Crawford did, and that he said a lot of people are discrediting Sean Porter because of his approach to the sport of boxing and his style. But he said it without saying it, that he expects Errol Spence to win. And he stated that, he wants to fight Errol Spence, win, lose, or draw, Terrence Crawford said. He said, but it's going to be a tough fight. But he says that a lot of people are discrediting Sean Porter because people want to see him and Errol Spence, and because of Sean Porter's style. What do you have to say to that, Kurt?
I see where he's getting at. We as boxing fans, we go by what we see. In boxing, there's levels to this here game. Nothing against Sean Porter. He's a hard-nosed fighter. You may not agree with his style. I done seen fighters fight like him before Sean Porter. Henry Armstrong. There's a fighter that was from Texas in the 80s named Frankie Warren. There's been a lot of swarmers. There's a certain style, elbows and headbutts. It happens. He's a good, hard-nosed, blue-collar type fighter. It's not that. We see something different, something special in Errol Spence. That's just like you having a Mercedes-Benz, that's Sean Porter, and Errol Spence just happened to be the Maybach, top of the line.
Right.
And that's how it is. Earl is special. I got him number 4 on my pound-for-pound list. I don't have Sean Porter in the top 10, but that doesn't discredit Sean Porter. He's a champion.
Right.
I just think Errol Spence is a better fighter, and I would like Earl to win his fights because I just think that Errol Spence being undefeated and Terrence Crawford being undefeated and Earl having 2 titles, that this fight between Crawford and Spence should take place. Sean Porter is just fighting the guy who I think is better. Now, saying all that, Blue, that doesn't guarantee a victory for Spence because anything can happen in boxing. We almost seen a huge upset on Saturday. And Porter is experienced and he's rough and tough. So if Spence doesn't follow the game plan, or he has a cut or anything or off night, we'll see an upset. I don't think that's going to happen. I'll give you my breakdown in a few minutes what I think is going to happen, but that doesn't dismiss Sean as being a scrub or a bum. He's not that. It's just that the guy he's fighting is a better fighter.
Right. And I saw an interview that Leon did, and Leon said that, and I'm not in the business of, I said this earlier, that I don't like to discredit the opposition, because then you indirectly discrediting the guy that you favor. And so, I saw a couple of people saying that Errol Spence, is not special. I don't know if you saw, but Bomac said that. Bomac said that Errol Spence is not special. There's no special effects. He's a very vanilla fighter. And so I saw Leon Muhammad, and he said, there's nothing special about Errol Spence. He's not that good. He said that he favors Sean Porter to win the fight. And Leon is a historian. I'm talking about Leon.
Yes, I know him well. Yes.
Yeah. And so I'm like, man, I never go back and forth with him because of his history in the sport, and respecting my elders. And he's a good dude, But I never try to challenge him or anything. But that's what he said. He said that Errol Spence is not special. He says that Errol Spence is overhyped because of social media today's time. And then he says that Errol Spence, he says it's a strong possibility. He said Sean Porter could fight. He said he likes Sean Porter style better than he likes Errol Spence. And then he said that he believed that Sean Porter's gonna win the fight, but if somehow Errol Spence gets past Sean Porter, he's definitely gonna lose to Terrence Crawford, man. What's your thoughts on that?
I usually look at Leon Muhammad as, I believe he's on Laugh at First Sight when a guy interviews him.
Yep.
And I respect him as a historian. Now, I don't agree with a lot of things he says. He seemed like he got it out for Al Heyman, but I'm gonna keep on the subject. I disagree. When I deem a fighter special is I start hearing about Earl, how he was punishing sparring partners, and Floyd Mayweather, how he knocked out Broner. And I always look at amateur boxing. So I just knew this guy was going to be world champion. My friend said, "What you think about this guy?" I said, "Oh, it's just a matter of time." So when he fought Brook for the IBF welterweight title in England, I said he's going to grow up in this fight, because the best things that can happen to Earl happened. Right. You won the title in a different country. You got off to a rough start. After the 6th round, I had a 4-2 Brook. He came, and the second half of the fight, he made some adjustments, and he started punishing Brook slowly. Mm-hmm. He grew up in that fight. And what impressed me was the interview after the fight. He said, "I wasn't impressed by my performance. I was overshooting my jab. I was a little rusty." And I was like, man, this kid is something. Mm-hmm. You win the title in another country and you criticize your own performance. Mm-hmm. Now, I think he'll beat Porter. Now, I picked Crawford to beat Spence, but that's a 50-50 fight. Right. That's not an easy fight for Terrence Crawford. And I think the world of Crawford, and I think the world of Spence. It reminds me of the situation between Leonard Hearns. I was a fan of both, and I said it was going to be a 50-50 fight. I guess I went with Leonard because I knew him. I was more familiar with Leonard. Well, in this fight with Crawford and Spence, I just like Crawford better because of his footwork. But that doesn't mean he's going to beat Spence. They waiting for him to lose so they can say, see, we told you he wasn't special. Mm-hmm. What loses to Porter, who's a champion? Okay, if he loses to Terrence Crawford, I was arguing with people blue about Mikey Garcia, how they say Mikey Garcia was going to outbox Spence. It was Earl can't box. He was coming off a 12 knockout win streak, and I was like, okay, if he couldn't box, he wouldn't have made the Olympic team. And look what he did to Mikey. He destroyed Mikey for 12 rounds. So they waiting for him to lose so we can say, I told you so.
Mm-hmm, exactly, man. And my thing is this. I can't, for the life of me, understand why people like to discredit the opposition. So, I'm hearing that, he beat a shot. And I always say this, we could debunk everybody's resume. We could debunk any and everybody's resume. But why do that? For what? For one, I feel like this. It hurts the sport. Right? Because they're all fighters. So everybody steps in the ring, they put their life on the line for our entertainment. Right? And to say, like earlier with the Deontay Wilder Tyson Fury theory, I know you, my brother, and you're a historian. So the situation. We got a call already. Hold on one second, Kurt. Let's get to this caller.
Yes, sir.
What's your name? Where you calling from, man?
Hey, what's up, Blue Blood?
What's going on?
T-Tone Toledo. Yeah, I'm just calling in, to check out the new show and get a couple questions.
Oh, yes, sir. T-Tone Toledo. What's going on with you, bro?
Hey, Blue Blood, that was a cold-blooded, on that post-interview with Ruiz walking down the street with the heavyweight champ. Man, that was some cool TV, man.
I appreciate you, man. Yeah, the champ, he was definitely, man, he was definitely very welcoming, man. I told the story earlier. I don't know if I told it, when I was on live on the other channel, but I told the story of, when I came out, when he came out, rather, he whispered in my ear, he told me, listen, take the walk with me, man. He said, listen, man, he said, come with me, man. Follow me. I'm getting ready to do some promo and eat some pizza, man. Come take this walk with me, man. So he was definitely very welcoming, man. Definitely very welcoming.
Yeah. And they do good at that like everywhere you maybe see a champ one day and walk down the street, and he was feeling it, man, and it was just cool as heck.
Yeah,
Look, Blue Blood, because look, I don't have no email and stuff like that, so this is my first time getting to talk, to the channels on YouTube.
Right.
And about time someone put in a phone call thing, man.
Oh, for sure, man. Yo, listen, I got the brother. Don't forget, I got my brother Kurt Anderson, the historian, on here, and this is going to be, man. You guys are going to be able to call in. We only going to advance. You know what I mean? I'm adding more stuff. We're going to have special guests on the show. Like I tell everybody, as long as everybody's respectful, we're going to have the champ on. We're going to have Deontay Wilder on, man. We're going to have the boxers on. Kurt, you want to tell them a few other people that we're looking to get on the show?
Oh, yeah, like you said, Deontay Wilder, we're going to have Manny Pacquiao on the show every Friday. His father, we're going to have Manny Pacquiao, the fighter. I'm going to try to get some people on the show. We're going to do big things, like Blue said, we're going to, advance the show forward. We want everybody to call in and ask, whatever on your mind in the sport of boxing. And we're just going to bring you a good boxing show.
Absolutely, man. We're going to get boxers on here. We're going to look to get referees on. We're going to have I actually have a judge, a very, very popular judge that you guys are going to identify with. He will be on the show. A very, very popular judge. And that's very rare to get a judge to come on the show, but he will be on the show. And he's going to break down and tell us, what judges are looking for, in his perspective. But Sean Porter, Errol Spence, man, who you got and how you think it's going to go?
Hey, Porter's got more to fight for than Spence, man. But look, if you go over looking at the boxing, man, Spence is going to get him. But if it's a fight, man, Spence can get caught. So I ain't counting out Porter. But if I have to, say who's going to win the fight, man, looks like Spence. But hey, if he goes toe-to-toe with Porter the whole fight, man, it's anything. It's going to be a good fight. Like I said, Porter's got more to fight for. He can take all the glory in this one fight. So, and Spence, he's just keeping everything. Porter wanted to take it,
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're saying, babe, pretty much you're saying that he has Sean Porter got more to lose. And,
No, Spence got more to lose.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And Porter, I ain't counting Porter out. If it's a fight, I'm going Porter. If it's boxing, Spence is going to get him. Make a long story short.
Right, so you're saying
here's what I wanted to talk to you about, too.
Go ahead.
Because, hey, man, there ain't no top dog at heavyweight. Saturday night showed that, right?
Right.
Ruiz, Joshua. I can't believe Quintai got this on the phone. Hey, and so I wanted, to see, after this fight, Joshua Ruiz, if Ruiz wins that, man, Fury and Wilder, they got to fight. And it seems like, man, they might not fight, and just one of them wants to just get a free ride just to fight the winner of Joshua Ruiz. Well, I'm hoping, to ask you what you think, You think they're going to fight? And then the winner gets Joshua Ruiz?
Do I think Fury and Wilder going to fight?
Yeah.
I think that Fury might have second thoughts. There's a lot of turmoil going on in his camp. I think that Tyson Fury, personally, I think that he has that cut over his eye. I think that that's going to play a major part. They might prolong the fight due to that cut. That might have worked in Fury's favor and against Wilder. But in all reality, it might have worked in Wilder's favor because we know Deontay Wilder, at heart, at this point in time, truly wants to be undisputed. So he wants to face, the winner of Joshua and Ruiz. So what's your thoughts, Kurt?
You know what? Fury's having second thoughts. He's unsure of himself. By his performance, his family is in his ear all the time. I'm not sure he's going to take that fight February 22nd. It's not etched in stone, and plus you have the cut. So the way I'm looking at it, if I was Wilder, after, if he gets past Ortiz and if Ruiz beats Joshua, that's November, December, they should fight. I will bypass Fury and go for Ruiz's unified championships, get all the belts. That's what I would do, and maybe Fury down the line because he's unsure of himself anyway. And Wilder's the man. He don't need to wait for Fury. It will be Wilder and Ruiz 1 and 2, and that will push Fury down if Ruiz beats Joshua. So if I was Wilder, I would go for the unified heavyweight championship, which will, if he beats Ruiz, will be undisputed champion.
Right.
Yeah, hey, that sounds good. Hey, that sounds good, But Fury's gonna want that too.
Yep.
So he might like saying the same thing.
Well, my brother.
Hey, I gotta go here in a little bit. I got my granddaughters, but I just wanted to say, today's real Independence Day from Spain, and all to the people out there, remembering Independence Day. But the people are still fighting blue blood.
Yes, sir.
The hiding the kids from the soldiers. Put it that way.
Yep.
But yeah, the people are still fighting.
Yep. I appreciate you, bro, calling in, man. Don't be a stranger.
Hey, heck yeah, blue blood.
Yes, sir. All right. Yep. Yeah, man. So, Kurt, what you think about that, man? I think that I definitely think that Tyson Fury is having second thoughts, man. Anybody else want to call in, man? Call into the show, man. And we got another caller. What's your name? Where you calling from, man?
Hey, what's going on? This is Rene Box-Young from Mexico. Shouts out. What's going on, family?
What's going on with you? My brother, Rene Box-Young on the line. What's going on with you, man?
Hey, what's up, man? Hey, what's going on, Curtis? It's an honor to be here with you guys.
Hey, Rene, what's going on with you, man? You're a good dude, man. Nice to hear from you. Thanks for calling in.
Hey, thanks, man. I want to get both of your input, and obviously from the chat as well. But I just want to give a quick comment concerning Spence and Porter, right? When you go back to Porter unfortunately has a bad reputation of being a dirty fighter, rough and rugged. But the thing is, when you go back and analyze Ugas versus Porter and Porter versus Danny Garcia, his last 2 fights, he did a great performance in boxing. He boxed quite cleanly, right? And we obviously know when we go back to Porter fights, before the last 2 fights, yeah, he was quite rugged, headbutts, et cetera, But we got to focus on his last 2 fights. And I think, personally, Porter is going to fight quite cleanly against Spence, which will make it a great matchup against Spence. So I kind of see it, I kind of see Spence winning, but I also see it a very competitive fight, really, really competitive. And many people are knocking Porter off, but I don't know. Okay, real quick. Have you guys seen Spence? Have you guys seen Porter, spar?
Yeah, I saw Sean Porter spar.
Yeah, I've seen him spar, clips throughout a couple years back, and he spars quite well. I mean, I really like how he spars, and I have seen that. I've been studying Porter for a while, and the thing here is that before the last two fights of Porter, I think I would see him spar for up-and-coming fights before his last two fights, all right? So he would spar excellently, and I would be so, excited to see him fight. But when he gets in the ring, it seems like he gets so emotional, and all that sparring technique goes out the window. But he seems to maintain it in the last two fights. So what I'm getting at is that pretty much reiterate, but I want to hear your comments on this. Do you guys think that Porter's going to fight clean, or is he going to be kind of rough and rugged, or mix the two? I personally think he's going to fight clean, but kind of be rugged also, but not too rugged. What do you guys think?
Go ahead, Kurt.
The only way Sean Porter can win this fight is make it an ugly, dirty fight, because he doesn't have the length. It takes length to bother Spence because he has length. That's just, science and genetics. He has to make it a dirty fight and close. He has to try to out-hustle and muscle and push Earl back. But Earl is strong. And then I might as well break down the fight. If Earl can make the fight easy if he let Sean run into the jab. Like if you look at the Kell Brook fight, he was running into the jab. That's why he was snapping Sean's head back. But the difference with Earl is that he's going to bring combinations behind it and expect him to go to the body to slow Sean down. That's how Earl is going to win the fight. But how Sean can win the fight, he surprised me by outboxing Danny Garcia. Because I'm going to be honest with you, I did pick Danny Garcia to beat Sean, and Sean really surprised me. But, this is not Danny Garcia. This is Earl Spence. And, he has to make it an ugly fight. He has to out-muscle and out-hustle Earl Spence. He has to, his style is a brawling, elbow, headbutts. Whether that's on purpose, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to say, no, that's just his style. I'm not going to disrespect him like that. He's a rough, rugged fighter. I just think he's up against it with Earl, but that's the best way that Sean can win, by muscle and pushing Earl back and going to Earl's body. But Earl is going to fight at range with the jab and let Sean run into it. But he's going to fire off combinations, unlike Kell Brook, and he's going to go to Sean's body.
Yeah, I agree with you, Kurt. I think that the last two fights that Sean Porter had was a showcase to us that they knew that they were trying to prepare for Errol Spence, and they knew that fight was coming, was on the horizon, especially if they get past Danny Garcia. And I think that, they were trying to implement that style to beat Errol Spence, because if you listen to Kenny and you listen to his breakdown of what needs to be done to win the fight against Errol Spence, it's always we got to do a little of everything, And if you watch Sean Porter versus Ugas and you watch Sean Porter versus Danny Garcia, that's exactly what he tried to implement, doing a little bit of everything. He was trying to get in and out, and he was trying to mix it up, and then he was trying to fight on the outside, get rough, rugged when the tide rolls, and then bounce back outside. But if you listen to something that Kenny said recently about the Ugas fight, he said that they had a game plan, and that game plan was to do everything, right? But he said that when they was in the fight and he realized that Ugas couldn't keep up with his feet, he said, why are we going to use that game plan, when we could just stay on the outside? So I think that they was using this for practice these last couple of fights, because Danny Garcia is flat-footed, right? And at times Errol Spence is very flat-footed. And Errol Spence could go into a high guard, where he's flat-footed, and you could outwork him in those instances, right? So I think that it was a lot of practice, especially Ugas' size. They were banking on Ugas' counter punching. Obviously, Ugas is not a southpaw. That's the difference. But I think that they were trying to implement a lot of the things that they need to do, the necessary things to beat Errol Spence, because they can't just stay in the pocket with him. If they just try to stay in the pocket, regardless of what Kenny says that Sean Errol is not big. He said Errol is not a big welterweight. He said that he kind of contradicted himself. I'm not even gonna say kinda. He contradicted himself. He said that Errol is not a big welterweight. But in the same token, in the same interview, he says that Errol is not fighting in the weight class he's supposed to be in, he's actually a weight class above the weight class he's fighting in. So that means he's a big welterweight, right? So it's a contradiction, you know. But you know, if they stay in the pocket with Errol Spence, and he's gonna make the necessary adjustments in the pocket, and he's gonna, like he said, he's gonna punish him because he just has a different set of skill set that would allow him to be the victor. That's just the bottom line. But I appreciate you calling in, bro. We gotta get to the next caller, man. Appreciate you,
much, Pete, guys.
You already know. Appreciate you, my guy. And I want to say one more thing. I appreciate you continuing to support, man. I can appreciate you dropping the link, you know, for this show, man. And inbox me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, or one word. So I got something for you, bro. All right.
Cool. Peace.
All right, peace, bro. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yeah, Don Banks, man. I'm in Jersey, man. Blue Blood was good, man.
My brother Don Banks, what's good with you?
Man, I'm everything's lovely. I'd be lying if I told you I was doing bad. Everything's great, man.
That's what's up.
Anderson, how you feeling, bro?
Hey, what's going on, Don Banks? What part of New Jersey you from, brother?
I'm from Trent.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I'm from Trent. I appreciate what you brothers doing, man. Shout out to the LDBC, man. You know, I'm on all the channels. You know what I mean? I really appreciate what you doing, man. And y'all doing it real big. So I just want to say, keep up the good work. Keep doing what y'all doing. Keep bringing the exclusives and all that. Is very appreciated over in this section, man. And Kurt, I was already a big fan of. He was on the last channel. You know what I mean? I was one of the first dudes that screamed out facts on top of facts on top of facts. So, you know, I appreciate you too as well. But I just want
to appreciate you, brother.
Get your feelings on as far as like I think Porter, a lot of people counting him out. I think it's going to be a closer fight than what a lot of people think. Obviously Porter's not as skilled, but you know, if he do it, and a lot of people calling him like, I don't think he's a dirty fighter, but he rough and rugged. But I never consider Porter to be a dirty fighter. You know what I mean? I heard one of the other brothers say, "Well, if you were in a fight, you want him to act like an angel. You want him to be nice to you. It's a fight." So, you know, that's what the rest is, rules and all that, but I wouldn't consider him a dirty fighter, first and foremost. I think the only chance Porter might have is if he just do a combination of things and he got to pull every trick out the bag. He got to dig deep, and he got to be in and out, in and out, in and out. I think he may be able to put a few rounds in the bag, but whether or not he'll win it, I don't know. That's pretty hard to tell, but I do think it's going to be a lot closer than what a lot of people think it's going to be.
You want to go ahead, Kurt, and respond to that?
You know what? In a big fight, this is a big welterweight, you know, unification match. If Earl go out there being overzealous, something Deontay Wilder made a mistake of doing against Fury, he's going to make himself vulnerable because his mindset against Mikey Garcia was the box. His mindset against Sean Porter is knockout. And Earl Spence is the type of fighter that if he says he set his mind to do something, he's going to do it. So he can't be overzealous and overshoot his jab to set up his power punches because Sean has too much experience for that. And he'll leave himself open, and Sean likes to go to the body too. You know, so Earl is got to be quick with it and stick with the game plan. Because when a fighter says, I'm going in and knock him out, that's problems because the best way to knock somebody out is to box and let the knockout come by itself. You know, that's boxing lore. So Earl has to be on his P's and Q's. No fight is easy, even though we call this fighter a bum and that fighter a bum. You know, Sean is a champion, so you can't forget that. You know, and his father's not a bad trainer, so he's telling Sean what to do. They know Earl very well, and you got to throw that into the fray. They know each other very well. So when you have familiar fighters, you know, it can be a tough fight, but I just think Earl has too many tools.
And I agree with you, man. I think it's not an easy fight. But Sean Porter, key to victory is to outwork Errol Spence. That's his only key to victory. You know, I don't think that he has the power to knock out Errol Spence. Now, anybody we saw was Sergio Mora knock down Danny Jacobs. So, and Sergio Mora couldn't punch himself out of a wet paper bag. But you know, we saw it can happen. You know, Sean Porter is a boxer, a professional boxer. He could clip Errol, but I highly doubt it. I think that the best case scenario for Sean Porter is when Errol Spence happens to go in that high guard, as he did a lot when he fought Kell Brook, and he goes into defensive mode and he kind of gets like real flat-footed and stagnant. He's just standing there like this. He could be outworked. There's times he'll try to trade with you on the inside, but he much rather clear space. He much rather push you back, you know, and create distance so he could, you know, get you cleanly. You know, so Sean Porter, you know, that's his key to victory, you know, is to smother Errol Spence's work, you know, and outwork Errol Spence. That's his only key to victory because he can't box Errol Spence on the outside. This is what, you know, we heard Andre Berto say this. If he tries and attempts to prove a point to us, the boxing pundits, and he tries to prove a point to the fans, and he tries to prove a point to the boxing world, then he's going to get embarrassed, you know, because like Andre Berto said, you know, he has the range, he has the boxing IQ, and Errol Spence is very calculated. He knows he can pick you apart from distance. So if Sean Porter tries to prove a point and tries to show the world that he could outbox Errol Spence, then he's going to be sadly mistaken. He's going to come up short. No fight is easy. I definitely think that, you know, listen, things can happen. We saw Andy Ruiz upset Anthony Joshua. We seen Buster Douglas upset Mike Tyson. A broke clock is right twice a day. You know what I'm saying? And this is the sport of boxing. Anything can happen. You know what I mean? Well, my good brother, we're going to have to let you go. Get to the next caller. I appreciate you, man. Make sure.
Y'all already know, man. Keep doing your thing. Much support, man. Much love. Peace, man.
Peace, brother.
All right.
What's your name? Where you calling from?
My name is Robert Sanchez. I'm calling from Minnesota.
Okay. Shout out to Minnesota, man. What's going on? What's on your mind?
I just wanted to give my opinion. I feel like everybody's kind of falling asleep on Porter a little bit. I do got Errol winning the fight, but I also want to make a point where, yes, he has all the skills, but he's never really been put in a rough fight. He's never been in a rough, you know, somebody who's going to rough him up, put him in the ropes. We haven't really seen what Errol can do in that situation. Mm-hmm. So, you know, this whole thing is going to be new to him. So we also have to take that in we have to take that in fact that he has never faced a fighter like Porter. Mm-hmm. You know, someone who's going to push him, who's going to get in there, rough him up. So how is he going to react to that?
Right.
We also have to look at that aspect.
Right. I think you're right, man. Go ahead, Curry. You want to cook on that?
Yeah, I can see that, but Earl has what you call intestinal fortitude. He's a mentally tough fighter. Like I mentioned earlier, when you can go to another country and beat the champion, that fight right there, he gained so much experience and people's not talking about it. I always like to see young fighters go to another country or get cut or get knocked down. You want to see a young fighter, how will he handle adversity? And he handled it well. Like I said, the first 6 rounds, he was losing. Mm-hmm. And he showed me it was gut check time, and he turned that fight around in his favor. Earl is a very determined fighter. It's in his eyes. Study a fighter's body language. You know, I've been watching boxing for 45 years, so I just get certain feelings about certain fighters. You know, that's why I was always high on Earl and Terrence, because they're fighters, man. They're dogs, man. You know, if Sean gets rough, Earl is going to get rough. But like I said, the difference is skill set. That's why Sean is a Mercedes-Benz and Earl is a Maybach. Mm-hmm. Yep. I think that the jab is going to be key, because when I study Earl, that Garcia fight, and we're talking about a 4-time world champion, Mikey Garcia is one hell of a fighter. He couldn't do nothing, you know, when Earl was jabbing. And that's the only way Sean can win by coming in. And like I said, and Earl knows this, so he gonna let him run into the jab. Other than that, I don't see how Sean can box. I mean, can stay on the outside and outbox Earl.
Yeah, I have to agree, man. I think that I think that you're right. You know, when you say that Earl hasn't seen a style and he hasn't been in a ring with somebody relentless and unorthodox and pressure style that's going to be determined as Sean Porter. But the thing is that I believe that Earl will make the necessary adjustments and he will, you know, plant himself and get used to it. And Sean Porter makes a lot of mistakes when he uses that style as well. And we saw him using that style, and he got clipped against Keith Thurman a few times. And I think that Errol, you know, is stronger than Keith Thurman, you know, so he'll be able to stand his ground. I definitely think that's going to be a tough fight for him, especially in the beginning. It's going to take him some time, you know, to get adjusted to that style. But I think also too, the problem is Sean Porter makes too many mistakes doing so, and he has to work so hard to get on the inside to do that. That Errol is going to say to himself, listen, I'm going to throw this uppercut. You know, unlike we saw this past weekend with Otto Wallin, you know, Tyson Fury was coming in with his head down and his eyes at the canvas, pointed at the canvas, and this dude didn't throw one uppercut. I mean, that's just simple mathematics.
I was calling for that all night when I was watching that fight.
Right.
Because I wanted Wallace to stop Tyson because all the bullshit he'd been talking. So I kind of wanted him to stop him. Right. So I was calling for the uppercut all fucking night. I'm like, come on, bro, throw that uppercut.
Yeah, he wouldn't throw the uppercut, man. But you know, that's a part of ring IQ. You know, that's a big part of ring IQ. You know, and that's a big part of making adjustments. And I think that Errol will plant his feet. It's going to take him some time. You know. Like he did with Kell Brook. It took him a little bit of time to get used to Kell Brook's style, get used to the pressure style, and once he did, he broke Kell Brook down. But I appreciate you calling in, man. We got to get to the next caller. Don't be a stranger, man.
You too, man.
All right, you too. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Curtis Hunt from Greenville, South Carolina.
Oh, my brother. What's going on, Kurt?
Hey, how you doing, man? And congratulations. Kurt, I heard you on, I think, OG Boxing Talk. I don't know if that was yesterday or the day before, and I caught it late. But how you brothers doing? And congrats on the new station here, man.
Oh, appreciate it. You see my shirt, right?
Yeah, man. I see you.
Yeah.
Hey, but I'm gonna get on with my question and let these callers call in because I think I've been trying and your line's been busy. So you guys are doing a great job. Hey guys, I'm with you on all of what we're talking about and what you guys are laying out for the aspect of what you feel is going to happen during the Porter and Spence fight. But my question to you guys is, I'm talking about Manny Pacquiao, and if that fight comes to fruition with Mikey Garcia, how do you see that fight even playing out, if so? And also, the back end of that, what if, I know style make fights, if style make fights, if Manny ran into a fighter like Sean Porter? I'm going to let you guys go on, take that and answer that, and I'll get off the call. But, hey, congrats, guy, and I want to go back so that I can hear your response.
All right. And for y'all that don't know that, man, that's my brother Kurt Hunt right there, House of Boxing, man. You'll see the shirt? That's him right there on the line, man. That's my brother, man. I appreciate you, Kurt. You know that.
Thanks, man. I'll see you in Los Angeles.
Absolutely.
All right.
You want to start off with that, Kurt?
Yeah, Mikey Garcia and Manny Pacquiao, I predict they're gonna fight next year. There was negotiations. I haven't heard anything. Mikey said he had a big announcement to make, you know, so I think they're gonna fight Pacquiao. I just got a feeling. Mikey Garcia will
hold on. Kurt, let's get to this call. I'll tell him to hold on 1 second.
Okay, no problem.
What's your name? What you calling from?
What up, Blue? It's Mr. 21 Strong.
21 Strong. What's going on with you? Do me a favor, 1 second. Just hold on 1 second with your question. Let us just answer the question of the last caller.
Okay, bet.
Just hold on. Give us 1 second. Just stay right there.
I got you, Blue.
All right. Go ahead, Kurt.
Yeah, real quick, since we got a caller. I think Mikey's going to have problems with Manny's movement for a little while, but people forget Mikey is a top pound for pound fighter in my book. Mikey's an outstanding fighter. You know, he even backed Earl up a couple of times. You know, I like Mikey to come on in the second half of the fight and edge out Manny Pacquiao.
I think with the Manny Pacquiao Mikey Garcia fight, I think it's going to look a lot like the Juan Manuel Marquez fights. I think it's going to be a very, very close fight. But I think the difference between Marquez and Mikey is his foot speed. I think that Marquez has slightly better and quicker foot speed, and I think that would play a huge part. And I think that if Manny don't fade, because we saw him start to fade against Keith Thurman, and if he don't fade, then he'll be successful in the fight. I don't know. Do you think, Kurt? Do you think that that Mikey has more power than Keith Thurman?
I think he put his punches better than Keith Thurman. I think Keith has more power, even though Manny caught Keith at the right time. That's Keith Thurman's fault, you know. And Keith Thurman, when he knocked out Diego Chavez and Soto Caras, I was like, wow, this guy can punch, you know. But Mikey puts his punches together better than Keith Thurman, which is pivotal against a guy like Manny Pacquiao.
Right. And the other question he had was, he said that what we think of Manny Pacquiao with a style like Sean Porter, Kirk.
Sean Porter versus Pacquiao, man, he will rough up Manny. Manny will use his foot speed, but this is not the old Manny. You know, that's a tough fight for Manny Pacquiao, man, because Sean Porter is a linebacker in boxing gloves, man. So he can neutralize Manny's skill with his brute strength. It will remind me of the Wilfredo Benitez Mustafa Hamschel fight. Hamschel kept Benitez in the corner for 12 rounds. So that's a tough fight for Manny Pacquiao against Sean Porter. Porter is not easy to fight by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, I think that would be a bad style matchup for Manny Pacquiao, because we saw when Jeff Horn was putting a lot of pressure and roughing up Manny Pacquiao, he was having much success. And I think that Sean Porter's pressure is a lot more calculated than and he's more accurate, and he's stronger. He might be stronger. He's quick, way more athletic than Jeff Horn. So he'll be able to keep Manny Pacquiao in those situations where Jeff Horn let him slide out. So I would definitely favor Sean Porter in that fight. Well, go ahead, caller. What? Let's get to your question. What you got for us, man?
Okay, Blue. I had a question. This is my question. Do you think that Sean Porter is a perfect matchup for Earl Spence to stop, because Sean Porter always coming forward?
I don't think that's a. I don't personally think that Errol Spence is going to. I don't want to say he can't, but I don't think he will stop Sean Porter. I think that Sean Porter has so much of a chip. He has so much of his pride, because so many people for so long was telling him that he was scared of this fight and he was ducking this fight. He won't allow himself to get knocked out. He won't allow himself to quit. Now would his corner stop it? I doubt it. I mean, Kenny is his dad, but styles do make fights. Sean Porter's style is the style that Errol Spence can stop, because it's something similar to that of Lamont Peterson. Lamont Peterson continued to pressure him, and anybody in the boxing world knew, and they looked at the Lamont Peterson fight and they like, what are you doing? You can't go right into the Lions Den. You gotta outbox Errol Spence, but you gotta have the skill set to do so, But Sean Porter's pressure style is slightly different than that of Lamont Peterson used, because Lamont Peterson, he did it with a high guard. He just was a sitting duck for Errol Spence. Sean Porter, the thing that gives me cause the pause, and the reason I think that if he can stop anybody at this level, because there's different levels, man. You knock out dudes certain level. When you get to a certain level, A-level fighters, man, it's not so easy to knock them out. You know what I mean? So to knock out Sean Porter, I think Sean Porter, the issue that Sean Porter has is that, at times he gets overzealous, he gets too wild, and he leaves himself open. He leaves himself susceptible to getting hit with power punches. That's why we saw, as long as you can stay calm, cool, and collective, and keep your focus while he's doing so, you can hit him with clean punches. We saw Keith Thurman keep his eyes wide open and was connecting some beautiful combinations on the inside against Sean Porter because Sean Porter makes too many mistakes. But if you get rattled like Andre Berto did, Andre Berto fell apart. Paulie Malignaggi fell apart. You know, and I'm not comparing them to Errol Spence or I'm not comparing, you know, these guys to, you know, his top-notch opposition, but you know, they got rattled. If Sean Porter can break you, you in trouble. What you think, Kurt?
I couldn't agree with you more. You know, pressure, you have to be mentally tough. You know, especially a guy like you know, Porter. It wasn't only, you know, when Mike Tyson fought, it wasn't only his name and his aura, it was his pressure. You know, you must deal with a fighter that comes forward, and same with Julio Chavez Sr. You know, you have to have mental toughness to deal with that pressure. You know, and Earl has that. Go look at Earl versus Lamont Peterson. I'm not talking about the fight because Porter and Peterson are different fights, but his punch placement, the Earl you seen in that Lamont Peterson fight are the same punches Earl is going to be firing shots against Porter because in the inside, Porter can be very inaccurate. I done broke the fight, I studied Porter, studied Earl, and Earl has a sneaky left hook too. You know, that's how he dropped Peterson. But he's going to be going to the body, but everything is going to go be off the jab. And Earl is not going to stop throwing punches, man. Earl threw 1,006 punches against Mikey Garcia, and he's in terrific shape already. You know, already. I was watching him spar. You know, just picking up little things, and he's going in there to knock out Porter to make a point. Porter, like my brother Blue said, got a chip on his shoulder, so that's what's going to make the fight intriguing. But Earl cannot be overzealous because he's going to make mistakes if he get overzealous. He has to stick with the game plan. Him and Derrick James is good together, you know. And Earl is a throwback fighter.
Yep. Hey, we got to get to the next caller, man. I appreciate you calling in, man. Salute to you.
Salute, bro.
What's your name? Where you calling from?
What's going down, dude? This is Boxing and Barbecue. I'm a B-more.
Oh, my brother, Boxing and Barbecue. What's shaking with you? Shouts out to Bodymore, B-more, man. What's going on with you, man?
Hey, shit, man. What up, Kurt? Sugar?
Hey, B&B, what's going on, man? I used to be in your neck of the woods, man. I used to be at this joint called Melba's, man, on Greenmount. But what's shaking, my brother?
Ain't nothing, man, already. Hey, first of all, man, Blue, I just want to say I appreciate the work that you do, man. It was good meeting you and Drew Titan and Kurt Anderson, man. Kurt Sugar, man. I really enjoy you on OG Boxing, man. I think what y'all do is really dope.
I appreciate you, man. It was great meeting you, bro.
Appreciate you.
To answer the question, man, with regard to Spence and Porter, man, I think every time Porter step up in competition, man, he get beat. You know what I'm saying? Thurman beat him, Kell Brook beat him. You know what I'm saying? Let's not forget, you know what I'm saying, Kell Brook beat the brakes off the Porter. You know what I mean? And Porter, by no stretch of the imagination, is a very strong fighter. You know what I'm saying? But Kell Brook was able to neutralize it. You know what I'm saying? And I believe that Errol Spence is stronger than Kell Brook. You know what I'm saying? So I don't see Porter being able to take Errol Spence's power or his athleticism. You know what I'm saying?
You want to cook on that first, Kurt?
I couldn't really hear him. You could repeat that. He was breaking out. What was the question?
I mean, it really wasn't a question. It was just more so of a statement. You know what I'm saying? I just don't see Porter being able to do anything to beat Earl. You know what I'm talking about? Like, if you try to fight him from the outside, he's going to have a jab in his face all night. You know what I'm saying? If you try to come on the inside, Earl's just way too strong. Earl was able to handle Kell Brook. Kell Brook, every time Porter came in, you know, he tied him up. He's way too strong for Porter. So, you know, with all that being said, I just don't see, you know what I mean, Porter being able to do anything to beat Earl. You know what I'm saying? Even give him a chance. And first of all, I don't think Porter's gonna quit. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he got way too much dog in him for that. But I do think Kenny's gonna stop that fight though. He gonna stop that fight.
You know what? I can see that B&B because I'm gonna tell you, Earl and Derek know there's one way Sean can be effective by fighting inside. He doesn't have the length or the skills to beat Earl on the outside. So it's either outside or inside, unless he try to mix up his attack like he did against Danny Garcia, and that's not going to work with Earl. And I'm gonna tell you something. If Sean is tough, man, but like I said, toughness only goes so far in boxing. Sean is tough. Earl is tough and skillful. You know, I said this before. I says that any fight, if it's not Crawford against Spence, Spence versus Crawford, any other fight is a junior varsity fight. Not to be disrespectful to the other welterweights. It's just that they're highly skilled. Two of the best fighters, not only in the division, but in boxing. I got Crawford at number 1 and Spence number 4. You know, I will be. You know what? I think Sean is going to be effective early, but once Spence get the range and him running into that jab and then him firing off combinations like he did against Lamont Peterson, I think it's downhill for Porter. And I'm gonna tell you something. If Porter gets a little weary or show just being a little tired, Earl is going to be like, you know what? I'm gonna make an example out of this dude. I'm going to be the first guy that stop him. Whether that happens or not, that remains to be seen. Because I'm not going to underestimate Porter's toughness, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's a tough fight, or I wouldn't be surprised that Earl stops him late.
Yeah, I agree. Hey, we gotta get to the next caller, man. So salute to you, my brother. I appreciate you. Listen, man, it was great meeting you, bro. Don't forget, man, every day, same time, man, 6 p.m., man, we will be here, man. So make sure y'all tune in, man. Salute to you, my brother. It was great meeting you, bro.
Hey, you too, man. Y'all take it light.
Yes, sir.
You too, B&B.
What's your name? Where you calling from, man?
Man, this is Mo G. I'm calling from West Texas. What's good, Blue Blood?
Mo G, what's shaking? Shouts out to Texas. What's good with you, my brother?
What's up, Mo G?
To it, man. Look, I know everybody's got, has a lot to say, and I'm gonna just say what I gotta say, and then I'm gonna hang up, and I'm gonna want y'all to chime in if that's cool.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. I was a little disappointed, not so much in the fights, but what's going on in boxing. I think Golden Boy and Top Rank are playing a terrible game. There's a lot of mismatches. There's stuff going on. It's terrible, bro. They should be making better fights. So the first thing I want to talk about is Fury. I think Fury's done. I think he's going to go the way of Rick James. Cocaine is a hell of a drug. I think Devin Haney is the superstar. He is amazing. I really like the kid. When they interview him, he's sharp. And I wish him all the best, bro. I really do. I want that kid to shine. I want to watch him. I want to be watching him 20 years from now. And he having all the belts and being undefeated. I can see that for him. As far as him fighting Lomachenko, I think that'll be a great fight, but they're not going to let that happen because he's a protected fighter, along with some other people, in different weight classes that's protected. I'm not going to talk about Porter and Spence because that fight is dear to my heart. I've followed Spence. I've been to his fight in Dallas. I watched him fight on the undercard of Porter when Porter fought Adrian Broner. And here we are, 2019. Them two boys is fighting each other. It's amazing how time flies. But my last thing I want to state is, who do you guys have in the Regis Prograis Taylor fight? Because I am from New Orleans, if you can't tell by the accent.
Yes.
And I digress. Y'all have a good night. Thank y'all.
You too, man. Appreciate you calling in, man. Yeah, the state of the sport of boxing, man. It's always been politics. Tons and tons and tons of politics in the sport of boxing. I definitely think. Hold on one second. I'm gonna cook on that. Let's get to this next caller. I'll keep on hold. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Jay Brown, man. What's going on, Capo?
What's shaking with you, Jay Brown? What's shaking?
Yeah, man. Just calling in, just to give my support to you guys, man. Appreciate you, man. You was down for a minute. I always was on your videos, checking your videos out, man. Commenting, supporting, man. I'm glad to see you back on your feet on YouTube, giving us this great content, man. I got the name from Kurt Sugar, man. He the one who called you Capo, and I just been rocking with it ever since, man. So.
I appreciate you, man. That's my brother right there. But hold on one second, Jay Brown. Let me and Kurt get to this the last caller's questions. He said that he loved just put yourself on mute for 1 second for me, Jay Brown. But yeah, Kurt, man, he said that the state of the sport of boxing, he think that we being shorted. He don't like the way it's they playing matchmaker, and he feel like Devin Haney has the all the tools to be undefeated, to be the next Floyd Mayweather. In other words, what's your thoughts on that, Kurt?
Well, growing up in the 80s and 90s, I'm not going stomp on boxing like that. I know the matchups and what they supposed to be. Back in the day, you had fights that wasn't championship fights, like James Schuler versus Tommy Hearns. That was on the undercard of Hagler Mugabe. You're not going to get fights like that. Ike Ibeabuchi versus David Tua, and then the winner, fights for the title or whatever. You're not going to get fights like that no more. Mm-hmm. Because the promoter want to save their jewel and put them in with a bunch of low-level guys until he reaches the championship. So those days are over. I don't like, but we can only, just support boxing and we get a good fight here and there, or we get a surprise fight like a Machado versus a Cancio, which ended up in the upset, and people was praising Machado thinking, him and Tank was going to fight, but Cancio changed that. Devin Haney, he has a lot of upside. Mm-hmm. I want to see cut or knock down. I want to see how he responds to adversity. I'm not going to give him the keys to the car because we talked about Isaac Dogbay and Teofimo Lopez and Virgil Ortiz, who even though he got the knockout against Orozco, didn't look that good. He was getting hit. So we take these young guys and we compare them to the greats. But, he has to go through adversity so I can judge him better. What happens if he, gets hit on the chin and gets knocked out? Then we're going to be like, I knew he wasn't nothing, but he has a lot of upside. I just want to see him in, tougher fights, before he fights a Lomachenko. This whole time, he's still a little green. Let him get some experience, put him in with top competitions and let him fly. He's either going to fly or fall.
Yep. My brother Jay Brown. So what you got for us, Jay Brown?
Yeah, I was hoping that MP4 Vids was going to be on the show today because I actually was at the fight where Money fought in Minnesota. I went to the event, got to meet him. A real stand-up guy. But
he actually is on. I'm texting him right now. He's caught up. He's driving from Mississippi back home, so he's texting me right now. So yeah, okay. he got caught up on the road, but he'll be on the next one.
Yeah, he's a real stand-up guy. Money Powder Force is a real nice young man. Man, I know the fight didn't quite go his way, but I'm still going to support him. We should all lay our support behind him. He's a good kid. He's definitely got a lot of upside. He'll definitely bounce back.
Yeah, we're gonna have him on the show next week.
Oh, solid. But yeah, I just wanted to touch on I know people have been talking about the Sean Porter and the Spence fight. My thing is I have really yet to hear how Sean is actually going to win this fight, legitimately win this fight. I don't really see where he's good at. I don't see where he can actually use those skills to be able to deter Spence from being able to utilize his game plan against him. So, and also I wanted to touch on Devin Haney. Do you think that he's going to get the fight before Tank, or Tank's going to get that fight before he does, as far as fighting Loma? And who do you think when the dust settles, who do you think will be left standing?
You want to go first, Kurt?
Yeah, I'll go for. Oh man, that's a good question, man. Because I tell you, I'm excited about the Haney, Lomachenko, and Tank as the world turns soap opera. I'm real excited. You know, how can you be mad at boxing, man? That's a good problem right there.
Mm-hmm. It's a great problem.
Yeah. I think Haney's going to get the fight with Lomachenko. I don't know who's going to win yet. You know, because that fight, you know, Haney's calling about Lomachenko, and Lomachenko got, you know, other fish to fry. You know, I think he'll be as mandatory. You know, I would like to see Tank get the fight because he's a little bit more seasoned than Haney. But I don't know who's going to win between Haney and Lomachenko. A lot of people like Lomachenko, but I think with Tank and Haney, them fighting, whew, Tank can fight, man. Tank got speed and power, you know, and he can get on the inside. And I like his upper body movement. He was doing some James Toney-ish against Nunes. Mm-hmm. Haney, you know, is a good fighter. He still has a little amateur residue. He moves a little too much, and when he goes to the body, he does leave himself open. He pulls back every now and then, man. So it's hard to say because I think it's going to benefit Haney, you know, the more experience he get, because he got that athleticism, man. You know, but fight too. It's hard to say. You got me on that one. I would say Tank, but like I said, that's a good problem right there. Because don't get me wrong, Lomachenko can fight. Don't go around half-stepping with Lomachenko now.
Mm-hmm. Hey, I personally think that the first one of them out of Haney and Tank that gets a hold of Lomachenko is going to be the victor. I think that whichever one of them get to him first, and who do I think going to get to him first? I think Tank Davis will get to him first. And the reason I'm going to tell you why is because I think that Gervonta Tank Davis has been on Lomachenko's radar longer than Devin Haney. So I think that, you know, he kind of looks at Devin Haney like, you know, like, yeah, he hears the noise, but he kind of looks at him in the rearview mirror where he's looking at Gervonta Tank Davis that's in front of him. You know, he's looking at him as, you know, a speed bump because you got to remember that fight had been talked about for quite some time. You know what I mean? So I think that, and you heard Lomachenko said that one of the biggest fights that he could have in his career is against Tank. So I think that, you know, the fact that he feels like Tank, you know, has arrived, and we could look at the competition and say that really, you know, Tank hasn't fought that much better opposition than Devin Haney. It's just the fact that, you know, his namesake, you know, Tank's name made a splash immediately. So I think that Vasyl Lomachenko has had Gervonta Tank Davis on his radar for quite some time, man. And I think that, you know, that's if he had a choice, you know, that's the route he'll go first. And more so, I think too, styles make fights. He sees that Devin Haney uses the ring a lot more than Gervonta Tank Davis, I think that Vasyl Lomachenko would feel like, you know, his footwork would be hard for Tank to match. Where he look at Devin Haney and Devin Haney's footwork, it's like, you know, he may be able to compete, and he uses his legs a lot, you know, so he may feel like he have a better chance dealing with Tank Davis's power. I mean, Tank Davis's skill set, you know, and the fact that he's a bigger name right now. I think that that's the route Vasyl Lomachenko would go should he have a choice. But we got to get to the next caller, man. I appreciate you calling in, man.
I appreciate you. Thanks, Chapo.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, champ.
Appreciate you.
Hey, so you know, we got a lot of callers in, man. Go ahead and call in. We got a lot of people calling in, man, trying to get through. You know, I know we're trying to get to every caller. You know, we wanted the show to go from 6 to 7, but you know, we went a little over the time. We got another calling in. Well, let's go. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, what's going on, man? This is Ricky calling from Brooklyn.
Salute to my brother Ricky in Brooklyn. BK, stand up. New York, stand up. What's going on with you, bro?
Ain't that much. I'll go by Rick. Oh, Saturday.
Say it again. You broke up.
Go by Ricky Chino by.
Oh, that's Ricky Chino?
Yes, sir.
Oh, my brother Ricky Chino. What's shaking with you?
Ain't nothing, bro. Just calling in, bro.
That's what it is. That's what it is, man. What you got? What you got for us?
Ain't not much. Yeah. Kurt, what's going on with you, bro?
Hey, man, what's going on, Brooklyn Knight? What's going on with you, man?
Ain't not much. Yeah, man, I'm just calling in just to really analyze the Spence Porter fight.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen that Mikey Garcia fight and the Lamont Peterson fight recently, and I analyzed it both ways. So Lamont comes forward, Mikey, plays, like the Connor, usually plays back. I'm trying to see how Porter's trying to come in, and Spence really utilizes his jab like a lot, to the point where I'm like not understanding what Porter's gonna do. But at the same time, I don't really see who's gonna win this fight by knockout. I don't think there's gonna be a knockout.
I don't think so either.
I don't think it's gonna be a knockout. I really don't, because the way how Porter's training right now, like he knows this is probably like one of his biggest fights. But I want to see what y'all thoughts are on that.
On whether it's a knockout.
Yeah.
Do we think that that he can knock him out? Is what you're saying?
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be a knockout. I agree with you. I just don't see it. And if anybody gets knocked out, it would definitely be Sean Porter, because Sean Porter just
come forward.
Right. He leaves himself more susceptible to getting knocked out than Errol do. You know what I mean? Right. So if anybody was to get knocked out, it would be Sean Porter. But like I stated earlier, the fact that Sean Porter has this boulder, he don't have a chip. He got a boulder on his shoulder, because Sean Porter hears the rumbles. He hears the people saying that, he was avoiding Errol Spence. Errol Spence got in the ring. He didn't want to fight. So I don't think that he's going to allow himself, even if he got knocked down 4 times, the ref will have to stop it. Right. Right. So what you think, Kurt?
Yeah. Sean got that tough linebackers mentality, man. His toughness outweighs his skill, not to demean him in any kind of way, because to get to this level, and he's a world champion, you have to have some sort of skill. His style is just a mauling, inside fighter, brawler type of skill. And, Earl is a beautiful fighter to watch. And sometimes we get caught up in, him looking pretty, snapping a jab out there, and the quick combinations, but Earl is an exceptional boxer, as you saw in his last fight against Garcia, but like you said, Blue, when you fight in A-level competition, the knockouts get harder and harder and harder, and Earl got to be careful too, because this is not no gimme fight, man, where things happen. Can you imagine Porter beating Spence? But, Earl is going to come in there with a mindset, if I can't get the knockout, then I'm just going to box.
Right.
Sean mentality is, they say, I'm scared of this guy. I can't beat this guy. I'm going to show the world. I have Earl winning, but if it's a close fight, that wouldn't surprise me either, because Sean going to give it all he got. That's who he is.
Yep. And my brother Ricky Chino, we're going to have to get to the next caller, my brother, but the number. Don't be a stranger. You're my brother, man. So I appreciate you, man.
Sir.
Appreciate y'all, man.
Let's
all right, brother. We're gonna get to the next caller.
All
right. Yeah, Kurt. I don't think that it'll be a knockout. I think that just both guys. I think, and like you said, Kurt, the fact that Errol, his ring IQ is gonna let him know, listen, this dude is not getting knocked out tonight, so I'm just gonna get the dub. You know what I mean? Go ahead and call in
Right.
my peopleizations, man. We got 15 more minutes. We're gonna go to 7:30. Then we're gonna shut it down. So go ahead and call in, man. We're gonna try to get a little. Got one more caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
What up? What up? This is Fuller. How are you?
Say it again, man. You broke up.
This is Fuller from Killer Cali. How are you?
Fuller Sports?
Yeah.
What's shaking with you, man? How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm chilling. How are y'all doing?
Chilling. Salute to you, my guy.
Fuller, what's good, bro?
Man, I'm looking forward to linking up with you after this mic, man.
Yes, sir. Man, what's shaking?
Yeah, I got a question for you. This is not a Sean Porter related question. This is kind of like a far-fetched looking into the future type of question. I was thinking about it because, Earl Spence said, he said, man, I'll beat Canelo's ass. And I'm thinking to myself, like, I was thinking about that fight, and I'm like, And I look at Earl Spence's strengths, and most of those are Canelo's weaknesses. Like, when Earl Spence is in the later rounds, like the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, he throws more punches. That's when he's getting stronger, In those rounds, that's when Canelo is gassing out and trying to, like, get on his 10th feet a lot of the time, When I look at footwork, I have to give that to Earl Spence, And when I just look at overall athleticism, I have to give it to Earl Spence. And even Earl Spence said, like, at 147, I'm not I don't have to be out. And he said if I move up, then, I would experience more power. So I have, like, how do you think that fight would go if that were if something like that were to be made, because they talked about it many a time, What do you think? Who do you think has the advantage in that fight?
You want to start off, Kurt?
Yeah, I couldn't really hear him. Repeat the question for me, Blue.
He said that. How do we think a fight would play out between Earl Spence and Canelo Alvarez?
Well, jumping up away, only special fighters can do that. Henry Armstrong, Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao, so on and so on. I would like to see Earl get acclimated into that weight class, but we don't know what weight he's going to fight. 160, where Canelo's fighting at 175. Hey, man, listen, I got Canelo number 3. Canelo, we can criticize him, but the man can fight. I studied Canelo, broke him down, man. He's a very cerebral fighter. Earl is going to have to use his legs. This is how you beat Canelo. You make him use his feet because he has slow feet. He has great upper body movement, but you can't stand in front of him.
Right.
He's very savvy. He's a very seasoned fighter. You turn him or you're just going to use the ring. Floyd was left to right to left, backwards. I mean, that's Floyd. He's brilliant. Lara should have been more aggressive. He would have got the nod. But he did use his legs, a little bit too much. Spence is going to have to box like he did Garcia, but he can't be aggressive like that because Canelo is an expert at setting you up. He has this move where he'll look at your chest, he'll fake the left hand and come over the top with the right hand. He did it against Amir Khan. He did it against James Kirkland when he was against the ropes. So I catch that move. That's one of his signature moves. Spence going up there to tackle a guy like that, man, he better be very careful. You're going to have to box like Sugar Ray Leonard or somebody like that.
Yeah, I think that would be a very, very, very difficult fight for Earl Spence, man, because Canelo Alvarez's upper body quickness, his upper body reflexes are better than what most people give him credit for. I know we see a lot of fighters, a lot of slick fighters. We saw Floyd Mayweather outbox Canelo Alvarez. We saw Erislandy Lara. I thought Erislandy Lara won that fight. I thought Erislandy Lara outboxed Canelo Alvarez. And we see, slick boxers. He have trouble with slick boxers. But at the end of the day, Earl Spence is not a slick boxer like them. He's there to get hit, right? Mikey Garcia was backing him up at times. You know, we saw Kell Brook back him up and have much success at times. You know, Kell Brook was winning that fight for the most part in the beginning of that fight. The first half, like my brother Kurt said, in the first 6 rounds, Kell Brook was up in that fight. You know, and we saw at times. I know people don't realize because you see. You know, you don't see the battles within the war. You only saw the ending of the war, and that was the Lamont Peterson fight. But at times, even that style, which I thought was not a smart style, I thought that style, you know, gave, you know, Lamont Peterson was hitting him at times with these overhand rights that he just seemed not to see. You know, so you know, I think it's I think at this point in time, I think it's too early for Errol Spence. I can't see him beating Canelo Alvarez at this point in time. I just think it's too early, man. You have to have footwork to get out of the way of Canelo Alvarez, you know, so it's a lot that's going to factor in. I know people are going to say, well, listen, Amir Khan had success against Canelo Alvarez. Yeah, he did, but Amir Khan has blazing hand speed that Errol Spence don't possess. Styles make fights, you know, so, you know, I think that it's a difficult fight for Errol right now, you know, because when it comes to strength, he's going to realize that Canelo is just as strong as him, if not stronger. And that's his biggest weapon going into these fights, right? He has a high ring IQ and he has stamina. But guess what? You got to get there with Canelo Alvarez, right? And Canelo Alvarez is very smart. He has a high ring IQ. Canelo Alvarez is weird to me, right? Because from the waist down, he's slow, right? But from the waist up, the dude flexibility and hand speed and reflexes is fast. So it's like he's an anomaly, right? We never really seen a guy like Canelo Alvarez. He's weird, man. The dude from
you're right.
He got feet like Jerry Cooney and upper body movement like James Toney.
Right, that's what's weird. Like we never seen this. Like so, the dude what we see from the outside, you know, is not what you get on the inside. So it's what Floyd Mayweather always made famous. You know, when you sitting outside the ring, you think you could do stuff but when you get in the ring, it's totally different. And I think that's why, right, we see a lot of fighters be real hesitant when it comes to Canelo Alvarez. You know what I mean? But yo, my brother, we're gonna have to get to the next caller, bro, because we got to get up off here.
All right, good. Look, thanks for taking my call. Salute to y'all.
You already know, my brother.
Salute.
All right,
peace. All right, we're gonna try to take 2 more calls, man. Then we got to get up off here, man. Hey, Curry, I knew we wasn't gonna be able to get off in an hour.
Nah, man, the show is popping. I know. Yeah. I can see it.
I knew it was gonna happen. Hey, go ahead, call in. We're gonna take 2 more calls, then we're gonna get up out of here, my peopleizations. I seen a lot of people trying to call in, man, and they couldn't get through. So call back in. Yeah, but Kurt, we'll wait till these callers get in, man. I know a lot of people are saying, there we go. What's your name? Where you calling from?
It's Mr. De Niro.
My brother, what's shaking with you?
What's the word, man? How y'all doing?
Same old, man. What's good with you?
Bro.
I just called in because the phone wasn't ringing. What's up, Kurt? You all right, Kurt?
I'm good, man. What's going on with you, bro?
Oh, shoot, man. Nothing, man. I want to know. Not even close. And Andre Ward, that first fight was up in the air on who really won. So my question is, what Canelo gonna go do against that big old Russian?
You want to cook on that first, Kurt?
Yeah. See, I always thought I'm gonna break Kovalev down. When Andre Ward destroyed him in the second fight, you know, I said that he was going to get knocked out 1 or 2 more times, and I was right. Then he lost to Alito Alvarez, but it was more of the ill preparations of Alito Alvarez than the fight itself, you know, with Kovalev, you know, and people was like, oh, he got McGirt. So to the naked eye, it seems like Kovalev did this and he did that, but Alito Alvarez was just unprepared. Anthony Yarde had him out, and I, you know, much to the chagrin of me, I thought he was gone, but he survived and inexperience and a lack of conditioning kicked in for Yard. That is not going to be the case with Canelo. Canelo picked him for a reason. You know, he's ripe for the pickings. You know, Canelo is very smart. People don't give him enough credit. You know, he's going to get underneath that jab. You know, Kovalev has a long jab and a long right hand. That's the punch that Canelo can see with his upper body movement. He's going to slip that punch, and he's going to throw wicked left hooks to the body, and he's going to systematically break down Kovalev, and he's going to get Kovalev out of there. He's not surviving against Canelo. This is not Anthony Yard. You know, Canelo will be in the Hall of Fame one day. Even, you know, we give him, you know, we criticize him, you know, but in a funny way. You know, we know he can fight. We know he can fight, and he's a hell of a fighter. You know, but we give him criticism, but he's gonna knock out Kovalev between 8 and 9 rounds. That's my opinion.
I don't see it happening that way. I don't know. I don't know. But go ahead, Blue, and click on it because I'm.
Yeah, I think
my food.
I definitely think that Canelo gonna stop Kovalev, man. I think that Sergey showed a lot of wear and tear, you know, in that Yard fight. He shouldn't even got past that 7th and 8th round. That was Yard doing a disservice to himself, not doing proper preparation. And Canelo Alvarez is going to slip. He's going to get on the inside. He has this uncanny ability to bend and twist at the waist, man, and slip and dodge and get on the inside. And then his hands are very, very fast. And the problem is, in the beginning, Kovalev is going to have success because of his height and his range. But the problem is Kovalev gasses. His stamina issues are worse than Anthony Joshua's. He has bad stamina, man. And, you know, because of his lifestyle outside, he don't live a boxer lifestyle. And because of that, you know, the fact that Canelo has a high ring IQ and he knows that his body is his weak point. And Canelo is a great body puncher. He has a great body attack. That's gonna be his attack early and often. Not to mention, Canelo doesn't have the height and the range to target his upper, you know, to target his head. So that's gonna be his target anyway, you know. So I think that Canelo Alvarez is gonna stop Sergey Kovalev within 5 to 6 rounds, man. 5 to 6 rounds.
That's what's up. I'm gonna post my PayPal because I'm gonna take all bets on that one. So
yes, sir.
I just want y'all to know.
Yes, sir.
Y'all have a good one, man. I'm gonna get out the middle of the street and let somebody else call in.
I appreciate
you doing what y'all doing.
Appreciate you, champ.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Let's get one more call in, man. We're gonna do. Here we go. What's your name? Where you calling from?
I'm calling from Columbus, Ohio. This is Marcus. Ohio runs boxing.
Oh! Them Ohio boys done stepped off up in here, man. What's shaking with you, bro?
What's good, bro? What's good? You already know I'm here to show love, man, like always.
Yeah.
And, what's the Canelo, man? A lot of people is already trying to discredit him for going up to fight Kovalev. And to me, it's like, we've seen this before. He's not the only fighter that have done this. And it's like, he's showing that he's going to be great, in my opinion. Man, what's wrong with going up fighting Kovalev? Cotto did it. Cotto didn't go up to fight Triple G. He went up to fight Martinez because he see vulnerability.
Mm-hmm.
Sugar Ray did it. Sugar Ray did it to Marvin Hagler. Like, we see this, man. I don't get it, man. It's like people just they praising him, but they trying to discredit him at the same time. They just like, oh yeah, he's gonna do this easy work. He's only taking him because he see vulnerability. He see it. I mean, of course, a lot of fighters are gonna do that, but you gotta give Canelo his props, man. It kills me. It just kills me to see that. The boy is good. You know what I mean? He's a great fighter, man. He's a great fighter, and they just do not want to give him credit for what he does in the ring. But
you know what it is, man. I'm gonna tell you what it is. People don't realize the effect that Floyd Mayweather had on the sport of boxing in this generation, and I'm gonna tell you why. When Floyd Mayweather went up in weight, he only seeked out the best when he went up in weight, right? And this is what we got. This is what we got used to, right? We got used to Floyd Mayweather when he went up to 54 at that point in time. Oscar was the best 54 pounder, right? After that, you know, he went up there and he fought Cotto, but that's because Cotto refused to fight him at 47, said he couldn't make the weight, and then he went up there and he fought Canelo. Right when he went to 47, he only seeked out the best. Right when he went to 40. He wanted the best at 40. They just didn't want to give him the opportunity, so he ended up settling for Arturo Gatti, his first fight at 40. But when he went to 40, he wanted the best at 40. When he went to 47, he wanted the best at 47. Right? When he moved up in weight, he seeked out the best who was there. Right? But you know, we got used to that type of aggression. Right? And so now, when you get a guy not seeking out the very best at 175 in Canelo, but he's seeking out a champion at 175, who was the boogeyman? Let's not forget, you know, Sergey Kovalev was the boogeyman division up until Andre Ward, right? And let's not forget either that he came back. He made look at the adjustments he made. Not many fighters could do what Sergey Kovalev did, man. He got knocked out by later Alvarez. He made the adjustments, said, listen, I don't have the power to trade with this dude anymore. And he followed out the instructions. He followed out the game plan from rounds 1 to 12. He never resorted back into his old style when he went in a rematch with a later Alvarez. And people don't want to give him that type of a credit, you know. So, and not to mention he had the issues with, you know, failing the alleged steroid test. So that discredited him a lot too. You know, but going up there and fighting Sergey Kovalev, in my opinion, I think that's a huge feat, because I think that Sergey Kovalev is no walk in the park, as we saw with Anthony Yard. Man, Anthony Yard, you know, was green, but that dude showed a heart. He showed the heart the size of Texas. He came to fight. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. And Sergey Kovalev withstood the 7th, 8th round. This is what I think that people miss, is the ability for Sergey Kovalev to withstand adversity. Now he couldn't do it with Andre Ward, because Andre Ward wasn't going to let up. But he came back after later Alvarez knocked him out. He came back after getting stopped by Andre Ward. He came back after being nearly out on the 7th and 8th round against Anthony Yard. You know what I mean? So his ability to withstand adversity, if he lived the fighter's lifestyle outside of the ring, we'd be having a whole different discussion about Sergey Kovalev. What's your thoughts, Kurt?
Absolutely. You know, when he was knocking out people left and right, man, he has a beautiful jab. Even in both fights, when he was hitting Ward with it, he was giving Ward difficulty with that jab, man. You know, it's long, and then he come across with that right hand. You know,
and Kurt, he dropped Andre Ward, remember?
Absolutely, absolutely, he dropped him, man, and that's a testament to Ward that he got out of it. I was like, man, this guy's not, easy to fight at all, man. You know, and Canelo stepping into the ring with him, even though he has a lot of wear and tear now, I think Kovalev is right for the pickings. It would have been even more interesting what would have happened in his prime, beginning of his the middle of his career, I should say. Say kudos to Kovalev, you know, give him a good payday. Personally, I don't like him, you know, but if he would have lived the fighter's life, he would have been even more tougher. You cannot drink vodka, you know, and fight. You know, he was getting knocked out in sparring by Isaiah Thomas from Crump. I knew about that, but, you know, before he started getting knocked out, you know, and that's him drinking, you know, right. So, you know, he'd be getting a good payday, but kudos to Canelo too. And we're going to break that fight down in the months to come. So I'm looking forward to that one as well.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. Hey, but my brother, we got yeah.
No, I'm going to say this, man. The Ohio, I'm going to throw my Ohio facts in, man. You know I'm going with Sean Porter.
I already know.
You already know. I'm riding with my boy. But listen here. Ohio, we've been through this. We was the underdogs in Buster Douglas, Columbus, Ohio, when we were facing the boogeyman Mike Tyson. We had to go to Eric Miranda in the middleweight division when nobody was trying to face the boogeyman. But Kelly Pavlik not only said he was going to back him up, he did it. It's Sean's turn. It's Sean's turn, baby. We're going to use these Ohio history facts tonight. But I love the show. Y'all keep pushing it, baby.
Appreciate you, champ. All right, we're gonna get to one more caller, man. And then we're gonna shut it down, my peopleizations. One more caller, so call in. Yeah, I think this is. Hey, Kurt, man, I think this is going to be a hell of a fight with Sean Porter and Errol Spence, man.
I can't wait, man. I cannot wait.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a hell of a fight, man. I think it's going to be a barn burner. I think that, and the more I'm thinking about it now, Kurt, I think that Sean Porter may just leave it all in. Hey, I'm thinking the winner of this fight may not be the same. If Sean Porter was to win this fight, I don't think he would be the same fighter in his next fight. We got a caller calling in. What's your name? Where you calling from? What's your name? Where you calling from?
BFTB. Like the
my brother from another mother.
And talk to the gods of this here thing. Loving the platform, man. I love the legend with the boxing historian up in this big thing, doing it big. I'm loving life, man. I love it. Beautiful platform. Man, I'm so proud and happy to see the legend and the boxing historian out here getting it in, putting in this good work, man. Y'all brothers deserve this, man. Y'all deserve it. I'm a huge fan of both of y'all. Man, I love and respect what y'all do. Man, I can't wait for this fight with Sean Porter and Errol Spence. My only thing that I have a negative thing about this is it's not getting the press that it deserves. This is an amazing fight, man. This is what we all cry and crave for as long as I've been doing videos with my family. This is what we've been talking about. The best fighting the best. This is what, and people are we're too caught up in Errol Spence versus Terrence Crawford, and we're not giving this. These two fighters are also the best fighting the best, and we're not giving them the credit that they deserve. This is going to be an absolute barn burner. This right here, to me, will solidify the best welterweight right now. That's all I got, my brothers. I'm gonna let y'all get back to it.
My brother, man. I want to tell you, man, I'm a fan of yours, man. I'm definitely a fan of yours. I love your style, man. I love what you bring, man. You already know you, my brother, man. You know what it is, bro.
For sure, King.
Hey, I want to say something, BFTB. I will not debate you, bro. You are the king.
Word.
You are the king, man. I see you slay many of people, man. I'm gonna stay in my lane with this history thing.
Yeah, I feel the same way, bro. I ain't jumping there. No, sir. Listen, it's a difference between boxing and bare knuckle fighting. And jumping in there with BFTB, that's bare knuckle fighting, bro.
I will stay right here, talk about this sport, and let you handle the king of the debaters, bro. Real talk, man.
Nah, man. Yo, you the loaded Lux murder mooka this here boxing debate, man. I ain't jumping in that lane. Yo, you jump in there with BFTB, the loser got to jump. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a death match.
I'm good, bro.
Match, man.
I'm good, man. I'd rather spar, man. You know what I'm saying? Give me the spars, man. You
make a nickname. I'm gonna make a nickname up for you, BFTB, man. I gotta make up a nickname. I'm gonna work on it tonight, man.
Yeah, no, sir, man. I appreciate what you do, bro. I definitely appreciate what you do, man. Because that's you know what, man. You created a whole different lane, man. Word up. You created a whole different lane, man. And I appreciate that, man. Word up, man. You know what? A lot of people try to do something different in the sport of boxing. You know, the approach to the sport, man. But you creating a whole nother lane, man. So all you do is, man, we always debating, but you took it to a whole nother level, man. And that's, listen, that's appreciated, man. Word up, man.
Much love, man. I appreciate you, legend.
I appreciate you. Appreciate you,
I'm gonna let y'all get back to this thing, man. I just want to touch base with the dogs, man. That's all I wanted to do. I appreciate you.
No doubt, my guy.
I'm talking to you behind the scenes. I gotta get your number, man.
Yeah, I got his number. I'll text it to you.
You got it.
Yeah, I'll text it to you.
All right.
All right, we're gonna get to one more caller, man. Hey, Kurt, we working on 8 o'clock, man.
I knew it was gonna go overtime, man. It's that. Hey, that's the testament of the show, man.
Man.
Real talk,
man. We working on me. Hey, listen, just so y'all know, man, and shout out to everybody in the chat, man. My bro, Chef Boy RD, I am Ill Will, Brown on Boxing. Big Bro, Jay Good in the building. Don Banks, Robert Stewart, Jay West, Brown on Boxing, King Louis II, LDTB, salute. Rico Shaw, salute. Mr. De Niro, salute. Salute. Mark Wonderlick. Let's get to this last call. Harold Jones, salute. What's good? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, yo, Blue Blood. This is Eric Jenkins, man. I'm calling from Philly, man.
Yo, salute.
Salute, my friend. Listen, I've been listening to you, Mr. Kurt Anderson. What's up, Kurt? And
hey, what's going on? What are you calling from, brother?
I'm calling from Philly, man.
Let me say something real quick, man. Philadelphia, I don't know how old you are, but Philadelphia has such a rich history with boxing. I can go A to Z, man. You know, big ups to Philadelphia, a hardcore sports town, man. I used to go to the Blue Horizon, you know, back in the day when they was on Tuesday night fights, man. Charles Brewer, you know, fighters like Jolton Jeff Chandler, man. Bernard Hopkins and Matthew Saad Muhammad and Joe Frazier. And I can go on and on, but go ahead, fam. I'll let you take that.
Hey, listen, and what you were saying, like with Matthew Saad Muhammad, you know what I mean? Me and my dad was in the body shop business, did some work for him. Good dude, man. Good dude. Straight up about his game. You know what I mean? Jeff Chandler used to run into him at AT on the occasion. You dig what I'm saying? It's life. Good thing. But with this Porter, the Sean Porter and Spence, I think that thing's going to be lit. Personally. I don't know the turnout. Favor Spence. But I don't think Porter coming in there to walk around and say, hey, I tried. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah. So I just wanted to put that word out on that. But listen, with you, Blue, and that work you putting in, friend, love it.
Appreciate you.
Love it. Man, listen, I had stepped away from boxing for a while. Just keep it real sweet. You know, during that mid-2000s to the late 2000s, because it was getting on my nerves, the rhetoric and all that. I'm talking to the young boys on my job, and they said, hey, you know about this guy and that guy? So I started picking up the YouTube and checking out the channels and everything. And I'm watching these cats, and I see Spence, I see Crawford. I'm like, yo. I mean, I seen Wilder, but I wasn't following the game. So when I seen as he was rising, I'm like, yo, everybody talking about this cat got no skill, but he's knocking cats the fuck out. Excuse my French.
Mm-hmm.
Understand? I'm like, wait a minute. And I'm watching. I'm like, they underestimate this cat. You know, in that 2015 era when he was going through with Joshua. I mean, I like Joshua, but you know, you can see he was a promo. You know what I mean? He was a model, pretty much to me.
Right.
You know, from the guys I came up, the boxers that we watched, me and Kurt watched when we were kids, you watched boxing. You didn't watch this, oh, it's about the business. No, those guys, they got in the ring and gave you the business.
Mm-hmm.
Point, paint, like you like to say, blank, period.
Right.
Get in the ring. So what I'm seeing now, I'm loving it. Love what you guys are doing, and I appreciate y'all, man. Real rap. I really appreciate y'all.
Appreciate
this
you.
Is from a guy that's a little older than Curtis. I ain't gonna give you no numbers. And I appreciate when he have his memory. You know what I mean? But listen, the boy, every time he thinks of a fight, I be like, yo, and I go back and be like, damn, that was a great fight. You know what I mean? It's just love, man, and I appreciate y'all, man, because the sport needs this.
Oh,
Actually,
man.
the community needs this, but the sport really needs it. The community needs it, and I love what y'all doing.
I appreciate you, man. And I'm looking to come to Philly, man, because I love that cat y'all got out there, man. Jerron Ennis, man.
Yeah. And J-Rock Layton. Oh,
yeah.
Gosh,
I actually saw J-Rock on Friday. He was at the Devin Haney fight.
Yeah, I've seen the interview you had when he was down there.
Yeah.
In DC. You know what I mean? The kid, man, he's just special.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Both of them, man. You know what I mean? All they need is that guy. J-Rock got a team around him. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because Breadman is a quality cat. Don't know him, know of him. You know what I mean? I'm a West Philly cat. I'm a Philly cat. I know people all over, but you know what I mean?
Yep.
They building this. You can't ask for better.
Yep.
Tell me.
For sure.
Cats is doing their thing.
For sure, man.
I'm hoping we can come up with a couple more. I'm looking in the neighborhood, you know what I mean? I'm not out near the airport yet, Philly. I'm looking at some of these young cats, you know, they're stringy. They might have a little potential. They're a little older though.
Yeah, I really like that. I really like Jaron Ennis, man. I actually been in touch with him. I'm trying to get him on the show as a matter of fact.
That'll be nice to see, man. Gotta get him up.
Yeah, for sure. I'm trying to get him on the show. So next week, we got a few things that I'm gonna build with the brother Kurt, because we're not gonna we're gonna have a special guest on, you know, at the very most twice a week, man. We're not going, you know, we're gonna stretch it out for y'all, man. So we'll work behind the scenes who we're gonna have on next week, but we definitely gonna get Jaron Boots Ennis up on here and Julian J. Rod Williams, man.
Yeah, and they'll come on because they appreciate you, man. They see the work.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I build with them behind this. Yeah, I build with them behind the scenes already. Like I said, I was with J Rock on Friday, so you know we.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We're gonna put it all together, man. All right.
Love, man.
Salute. I appreciate you, man.
Salute to y'all, man.
All right.
Y'all.
Salute to you, bro.
Peace.
What's your name? Where you calling from?
Indianapolis, Indiana.
Salute.
Bo One, what's happening?
Bo One, what's good with you?
Bo One, salute, man. Marvin Johnson country, man. I was a big fan of the former light heavyweight champion. What's good with you, bro?
Oh, man. Chilling, man. They've been working a lot. Been catching the live streams when I can. I'm glad you're back. You're back, Brother Blue.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And the historian. Hey, okay. I'm honored. Let me go ahead and get it out the way. So, hey, man, I'm wound up like a mug for this fight. I don't think it's going to be a foregone conclusion that Earl's going to just dominate. I favor him to win, but the closer that we get, I'm kind of banking on what my man just said about Shad not going in there, walking around, and just trying to survive. I believe that man is going in there to try to win. So, you know, that's going to set it up for it to be a great event. So, y'all keep pumping it up, man. Y'all keep pumping it up. I ain't really sweating Fury too much, man. I think he's not damaged goods, but I just don't think he wants that smoke, especially the way he looked this past weekend. And I'm going to ride with Wilder regardless. You know, whatever goes on, that's who I'm riding with. So, you know what I'm saying? I love this platform, man. I think I found my niche with the boxing thing. I never lost my love, but you didn't really see it around a whole lot. But, man, hey, I think it's, you know, it's not coming back. It's just getting better than what it was. You know what I'm saying? That's just how I look at it. So y'all keep doing what y'all doing, man. Y'all keep doing what y'all doing. Y'all got my support, brothers.
I appreciate you, man. We appreciate you 1,000%, man. Don't be a stranger.
Salute.
No doubt. All right, peace, brother.
All right, peace, brother.
Peace.
All right, man. Kurt, we're gonna go to 8 o'clock, I guess, huh?
Yeah, might as well.
Yeah, we already
might
there.
As well.
Yeah, we had the last stretch, man. Go ahead, man. Call in, man. I see a lot of callers still trying to get in. Go ahead, make your calls. Call in, man. Let's get it in, man. To 8 o'clock, man. Y'all got to 8 o'clock. So I see a lot of callers. Y'all bumping each other off, but go ahead and make them calls in, man. But yeah, Kurt, man, I'm excited about this fight, man. I think this is the sport of boxing is at an all-time high right now. You know, we got all the divisions going. We got the heavyweight division popping. We got the welterweight division popping. We got the middleweight division popping. We got the featherweight division popping. The lightweight division, man. It's on fire, man.
Yeah, man. We got some great young fighters, man. Barrios, Ortiz, Ennis is a problem, man. You know, woof. You know, I studied that dude, man. I'm like, you know what, man? This dude, I ain't gonna say. I want to see more of him. I'm just gonna keep it like that. Yeah. But I'm just gonna say I'm so big on Ennis. But in boxing, I'm gonna tell you a quick story. There was a guy named Kelsey Banks. They say he was a can't miss prospect. And went to the Pan Am Games.
You there?
Was over. Yeah.
Okay, say it again, Kurt, because you was breaking up.
Okay. Kelsey Banks was a 6 feet featherweight who was a can't miss prospect. They was giving him all kinds of accolades. He's the next great one. He's Sugar Ray Leonard and Sugar Ray Robinson, and he went to the Pan Am Games and fought unheralded a Korean amateur fighter, got knocked out in the first round.
Wow,
that was it.
Wow,
he was a Canadian prospect. And see, people forget when they talk about Lomachenko amateur record, he was 396-1. Donald Curry was 404. Some people say 406-4. And he was scheduled to fight Marvin Hagler. He was going to move up and fight Marvin Hagler when he knocked out Milt McCrory. He was calling out Mike McCollum and Marvin Hagler, but there was a little stumbling block named Lloyd Hunnigan. There was a fighter, they called him the Ragamuffin Man, came from England and knocked out Donald Curry. That was a huge upset. It was like Ruiz beating Joshua. It shook me up, man. It shook me. I could not believe it because they fought on Showtime, and at that time, they call it the network of upsets because everybody was losing. Barkley knocked out Hearns. I mean, it was just upset after upset after upset. So in boxing, anything can happen and when you're a basketball player, you need one ball. Football player, you need one ball. But when you box, you need two. Right. So keep that in mind.
Right. Exactly, man. And this has been the year of the upsets, man. This has been the year of the upsets for real.
Man, I'm so hyped right now, Blue, man, this show, man, and the people calling in, it's just a different energy. And on my previous show that I was on, I called the upsets at the beginning of the year. No, end of last year. I said there's going to be an upset. I thought Charlo won, he lost. And then I said, wait a minute, there's a major upset coming. Right. I didn't know who was going to be. I said, no, don't worry about Spence fans. It's not going to be Spence. But it turned out to be, I didn't call the fight. It turned out to be Ruiz and Joshua. Sometimes you just get that intuition.
Yep. And man, was that an upset. And not, it wasn't just an upset, but it was exciting. The dramatics in that fight, because Ruiz getting dropped. It looked like it could be over for him. And him getting up and being shocked and then dropping Joshua 4 times. 4 times. And then ultimately stopping him, man. That was a beautiful fight, man. I'm so looking forward to this next fight. Then let me ask you this, Kurt, because now we're getting all of this situation with Saudi Arabia, man. Do you think that they should back out?
I don't like the fight being in Saudi Arabia for Ruiz. I for some reason, I just don't, man. I just wish the fight was in the States or even England, man. It's just a weird location. It's something. Eddie Hearn must have made a deal or something and it got money or whatever. It's very odd to me that the fight is in Saudi Arabia. I think it's going to benefit Joshua than Ruiz. Sometimes, there's always some in boxing, especially some unforeseen circumstance. I don't like that fight for Ruiz in Saudi Arabia. I just wish it was back at Madison Square Garden or, the T-Mobile Center in Vegas or so. I just don't like it there. I just don't. It's funny.
I agree, man. And all of this stuff that's going on, man, I don't like it for their safety. You know what I'm saying? That's a target. That's a big event where all eyes is going to be on that event. And anybody somebody knows that all eyes is going to be on that event. And if you want to make a statement, what better way to make a statement? So that's scary, man.
Yeah.
Man, that's scary, man. But yeah, my peopleizations, man, me and Kurt going to turn it in, man. We ain't getting no more callers. Gave you an opportunity, man. We got 7 more minutes if y'all want to call in. Go ahead and make it happen, man. Like we said, we're going to be doing this show 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every day. Here we go. We got another caller. Salute. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Oh, I'm calling from DMV.
Salute to the DMV, man. What's shaking?
Hey, man, I'm just calling to talk about how nobody was talking about how when Sean Porter fought Carol Brooks, that junk went the distance, but he got stopped by Earl Spence, but they're not even putting that comparison up there for the fight. I think a lot of people just overlooking that, and I think Crawford, just to test the water, should fight Carol Brooks. But I really feel like he's definitely the Kell Brook fight. I think that's a real good fight. Anybody who put hands on Triple G and Adam Wobble coming up 2 weight classes, I think that would be a good fight for Crawford to test himself to see what he's going to get.
You want to cook on that first, Kurt?
Yeah, the first thing is, can Kell Brook make 147? Is Kell Brook, he has the name for Crawford. Is this the Kell Brook that fought Porter? No. Beating Kell Brook. Kell Brook can go in there and lose to a nobody because I don't think he has much left, but he has the name. It would be like Crawford fighting Khan. Some people say it was a trap fight, but I said, nah, he gonna watch Khan. And I seen Khan get intimidated by the skills of Crawford because the first time he was outboxed. So him fighting Kell Brook, if Crawford go in there and washes him in 5 rounds, then people going to say, well, this ain't the Kell Brook that Spence got to him or before Golovkin. I truly feel that Golovkin fight messed up his career. He just was never the same. And then Spence ended it, and I don't know if he ever going to fight again. He messed up a lot of money not fighting Conor in England, but I don't think it does anything for Crawford. I just want Crawford to stay busy. I want this fight the first quarter of 2020 between Spence and Crawford because nobody can beat those guys in the welterweight division. Manny Pacquiao is not going to fight Spence. Those are, like I said, 2 of the best fighters in the sport of boxing. Number 1, Crawford, top 10, and number 4, Spence, because they bring out the best in each other and expose one another at the same time.
Yeah. I think that everybody want to see the Kell Brook fight is simply because of the namesake. It's not because of the quality of the fight. I think that it's a name that most people can identify with, and Kavaluskas is not a guy. The Mean Machine is not a guy that most boxing fans, they just can't identify. They don't know who he is. It's hard for us hardcore boxing fans to know who Kavaluskas is. Let alone the casual boxing fans. And I'm not calling you a casual. I'm just saying, in general. So Kell Brook is the name that's being thrown around because Kell Brook popped up at the Amir Khan fight and he called out Terrence Crawford. The problem with that was.
Facts. Yeah, he did win at the fight.
Yeah, and he called out Terrence Crawford. And the thing is that Bob Arum quickly shut that down. Bob Arum quickly said, we don't have the money to pay Kell Brook. And these are signs and flags that Terrence Crawford should be, aware of. And these are the signs and flags that Terrence Crawford needs to make adjustments with. Just like you make adjustments inside the ring, you got to make adjustments outside the ring when it comes to your promotional team.
I think that was mismanagement by Eddie Hearns by letting Kell Brook go up 2 weight classes by 50.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. But when we talking about Terrence Crawford and the fact that immediately Bob Arum didn't say we're going to inquire about it. The first thing Bob Arum said was we don't have the money to pay Kell Brook. So right. So how do you know what you have and don't have? So that's a disservice to Terrence Crawford.
That's a fight for a belt. I mean, the money could be 2 to 3 million. It wouldn't even matter. It's for a belt.
Right. And then when it comes to Kell Brook, like Kurt said, Triple G started it and Errol Spence finished it. And another thing is because we're trying to measure and everybody's trying to pick and draw at straws to decide who's better, Errol Spence or Terrence Crawford. Kell Brook is a name that you could. Is a barometer, you could say who did better against him, right? But the thing is, right, he's a measuring stick, right? So that's why people want to see Kell Brook, but it's not for the actual quality of the fight because if Terrence Crawford goes in there and washes Kell Brook in 2 to 3 rounds, let's say he knocks him out in 3, nobody's gonna give him credit for it because they're gonna say he was already damaged goods. You know what I mean? And in all actuality, just like we saw in this Tyson Fury out of Waleen's fight, right? We didn't know who Otto Wallin was, and look at the fight he put up. So, in all honesty, Mean Machine might put up a better fight than Kell Brook at this point in time. Now, historically, is he a better fighter than Kell Brook? He might not pan out to be. History. We got to wait for it to unfold. But Kell Brook was a force to be reckoned with prior to that Triple G fight, right? As he was one of the first people we seen withstand Sean Porter's onslaught. You know what I mean? He withstood it. He stood his ground. You know, that was still a very, very close fight. And then even with the Triple G fight, the first couple of rounds, he was winning that fight. You know what I mean? Remember,
he was piecing him up.
Yeah, remember he caught him with an uppercut and lifted him, Triple G, off his feet.
Yeah, he wobbled him.
Yeah,
he wobbled him.
Right. So, but the thing is, he broke that orbital bone, and I did surgeries in the operating room for 17 years. And once you injure that first eye, you're susceptible. The other eye is easier to break than the one you originally hurt, due to the fact that the reinforcements in the one that you originally hurt. You know, so the other one is more susceptible to getting injured, and that's what happened when he got in there with with Errol Spence, and the fact that it came from a different angle, right? Because Errol Spence is a southpaw and Triple G is an orthodox fighter, so it came from a different angle and it broke the other eye socket. You know, so he's damaged goods, but he's a big, strong. He's a name at the welterweight division that we have yet to see Terrence Crawford in the ring with a true name at the welterweight division. We've seen him in the ring with Jeff Horn, which most people thought Jeff Horn lost the fight with Manny Pacquiao. Then we saw him in the ring with Jose Benavidez.
He did lose that fight against Jeff Horn. Lost that fight.
Right, Jeff Horn. That's what I'm saying.
I think that was a gift from God back for Crawford to come right in. I know the WBO got, the 25 champions the next week class automatically, the number one contender for the belt. But at the same time, I mean, like, Manny Pacquiao was on his way out, and then Bob Evans knew that he was leaving. So I think that was a setup fight for Crawford the whole time. Even though he never paid Manny Pacquiao and took that money and gave it to Crawford, and then gave him the fight with Jeff. I think it was kind of like a setup, man. Mm-hmm.
Yep. So, but we got to get up off here, man, because salute to you, man. I appreciate you calling in, bro. Don't be a stranger, man.
This Al Green, man.
Al Green. Salute, bro. Salute.
That's my real name, man.
Okay. I appreciate you. Champ.
All right, thanks, man. I appreciate it.
No doubt. All right, so we're going to get up off here, Kurt, because 7-8 just started his show. So salute to each and every one of y'all, man. We appreciate y'all. Kurt, you got any last words?
Yeah, I just want to say thanks for your time and the call-ins. We giving you hardcore boxing talk. We like the chat to be involved, because you are part of the show as well. And this is our first show, and we're off to a blazing start, and we will see you tomorrow.
Yes, sir. You already know, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Central Time, 3 p.m. Pacific, West Coast Time, 11 p.m. if you're in the UK. You can come check us out, man. You got to come to this channel, subscribe to this channel, share this channel, man. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow us on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. Peace. We out of here. Salute, Kurt.
Peace. Salute.